He did understand that.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
I have a friend of mine, she lives in a high-rise in Chicago. She's getting a puppy, a little toy puppy, and she has one of these potty mats. And she's wanting some information on how do you potty train a puppy. She is getting a cage, you know, to keep them in. And my suggestion to her was to, at least for the first 2 weeks, keep them in the cage and bring them out to go potty.
Well, that puppy doesn't understand that. That puppy has gone from peeing anytime it had to go. So all you're going to end up with that is basically peeing in the crate. Because if she locks that the puppy's not used to having to hold it at all. So you've got to make it more compatible and more similar to the conditions the dog came from. So you start, you have to think about where the dog came from. All right, if it came from a pet store, it's in a window with either sawdust or paper or whatever, and it pees anywhere it wants to. How would it know? So, Caroline. Come on. All right. Now, Caroline's my new puppy. She doesn't have a clue. Okay, now, come into this pen. All right, now I'm going to work. And I didn't say anything because I'm at work. And she's going to play with things.
Rip up the paper.
Just
Rip up the paper.
nothing.
Whatever's in there.
Chew on the woodwork. She's locked in a room, right?
Yep.
Okay, now, I have to say, I put some paper on the floor. Okay.
That wouldn't matter.
No, what would you do with the paper?
Oh,
You've peed all over the floor.
yeah, there you go. Exactly.
And I come home from work. Now, you're happy to see me, aren't you? Look what you've done! Look at this mess! I've just corrected her for being happy to see me.
Yeah. I was happy to see you. I was.
So how would she know? She wouldn't. She doesn't have a clue. Because where she, in the, you know, well, she would have come from the Humane Society, of course. But where she came from, she was allowed to pee and poop anywhere she wanted to. There was nothing in that pen that would have caused a problem of any kind. So from the breeder's house, she had this big area. Everything in there was hers. Couldn't make a mistake. She comes into the home, you do the same thing. She takes it serious. All right. Now, truly, you need to have a place where the dog can't make a mistake.
Bathroom?
No, not the bathroom. Your bathroom's not temporary. Your bathroom is going to be there. So if you establish the bathroom as the potty place, when is it going to go away? How would she ever learn by keep doing the same things? How would she learn not to go there? She wouldn't.
I used to use puppy pen, you know, with the 4, 6 sides.
That's exactly right. You need to confine that puppy with the crate available so that the dog can sleep in there. That's where the dog's bed is. and there's a limited area. Now, a really good way is to take a large crate and a small crate, take off the doors, butt them up against each other, close it off. Okay? The puppy can sleep in the crate, come out, pee, poop, whatever, because eventually you're going to be shutting that puppy in that crate. The worst thing you can do with a new puppy is lock the puppy in a crate. First of all, you do that to a Lakeland, they really don't like to be locked in a crate. They've never slept alone. So you snag them out of their safety, their security, and you plop them in a crate. Second of all, okay, she's locked in a crate. So every time you want out of the crate, what do you do? Okay, come on, let's go out. Come on, let's go out. All right.
That worked,
So
yep.
now she gets to come out here, and she doesn't know she's never gone potty outside in her whole entire life. So she doesn't go, I'm out here at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Been there, done that.
She's having a good time. Okay, I get sick of this. All right, I'm just gonna lock you back up. I gotta get some sleep. Okay, I'm going back to bed.
Okay.
Darn, that puppy, you got it.
That worked.
So what's the incentive to sleep all night long? You're at that dog's beck and call.
Oh, this is fun. I get to play all night.
Yep.
They don't wake me up in the night because they have their crate, either a pen, depending on the size of the puppies, and I don't get up
Yeah.
because I give them a place where they can't make a mistake. When I'm busy, that's where they are too. I don't mess with them. So mine get used to sleeping all night long very quickly. 3 days, they don't cry anymore. Put them in the basement. I don't cry. I don't get up.
So do these pee poop pads have scents on them that makes them or encourages them to pee poop
But
on
it's just like this. How would she know to go on it? They don't do magic. You have to condition that puppy what to do with those pads.
They have stickies on the bottom, and I used to get the biggest pads I could get, even for a small pup, and stick it under the pen side so it holds
That
it
wouldn't
down.
stop
And
on Airedale.
sometimes- No, of course not. And
That wouldn't-
sometimes even put a brick in there to hold it down, because they'll rip them up even when they're dirty.
I don't even care.
Shred them
Yeah, they
and
strap.
If I have a litter of Airedales, I'll very often use straw.
that's good.
Just a little bit of straw, just a little bit of something that's more like outside.
Yeah.
Because newspaper works good, except it turns the dog black.
Yeah, no.
But it's just a time. It doesn't matter what you use.
Aw, Sue's nice. She cleans up.
Isn't
after
she
your
sweet?
puppy.
Good, yeah.
Good thing I didn't.
That's
see
why
them
she
first.
shouldn't raise puppies. She wouldn't do all of this.
And they're done.
So anyway-
Done well.
Yeah. So anyway, the key is, first of all, to take the stress out. Second of all, put the dog where it can't make a mistake. So if you lock that puppy in there, you're obligated to get home to get the dog out of the crate. The crate's perfect. But as a baby, you can't be unreasonable where a puppy went from someplace where they pee and poop anytime they want to locking them in a crate. That's just asking for trouble. You make that crate a pleasant thing first before you begin locking them in there. Now, we feed the dogs in crates, so they're locked in a crate to eat. So they associate the crate, it's a place to sleep, a place to eat. You go outside the pen or outside the crate to potty. But you can't just assume the dog cares. They don't. Just like a baby.
When I first took Diva home, only had her, I don't know, maybe a week, if not even. And I had a commitment one evening, so I put her in the crate, and the crate's down in the lower level of the house. Put her in the crate. I didn't get home, it was about at least 3 hours before I got home. I got home, I went downstairs, oh my, I just bawled. I'm telling you, she Diva had poop smeared, and I had real light colored carpet down there. And she was in the cage. She had it smeared from one.
Right.
I don't know how she did it in the cage, but she had it smeared all over
Oh,
the
sure.
carpet.
'Cause she
She
got
had paper
panic.
ripped up. She peed. She. Oh my God! I called up Pat the next morning and said, I think I'm gonna be I'm boxing her up and bringing her back. But then my husband said, no, settle down. We'll give it a couple days, and we did. It got better, but
Yeah. It's harder yet with a person like Sue who's home most of the time because the dog doesn't really get a regular taste of being confined. But I want you to think, okay, what it's like for a puppy. Okay, you've been able to sleep with your buddies, your brothers and sisters, and everybody slept together. All of a sudden, a stranger picks you up, takes you to a new place, locks you in a box,
And goes away.
and goes away. How secure would you feel? Not at all. Not at all. And Lakelands, my theory about Lakelands is they're a dog that's bred to go down under the ground in a dark hole. They like their crate, but they don't want the door shut, right? Okay. They'll go in that dark hole. They'll go down a 30-foot tunnel after something. They will fight to the death something bigger than they are. What would happen if either the animal died in the opening or they had dug dirt and closed up the hole? What would happen? They would die. So when you take a dog that is not acclimated to a crate and you shove it in there, you wouldn't shove me in there. I would absolutely go stark raving mad. To be confined that tight, I can absolutely understand. So, like this dog over here, now we're going to talk about Zach today. He's a dog that we've had just about, well, not quite 2 years, entrusted to us by a woman who raises nice pet dogs. Of all the Lakelands I have dealt with, this is as easy a puppy as I've ever seen. He wasn't raised on a pedestal. He wasn't raised to be anybody fancy. He was raised on a farm, running with an Australian Shepherd and a couple of other things. This dog was so well adjusted and trusting of people. He had never had any pressure on him. And we've kept him that way. Now, Lakelands are slow to mature. So because the intention for him is to be a service dog, all right, we did not take him out and do a lot of play with him and a lot of racing around and a lot of challenging activity. He was never, ever, ever allowed to distrust anybody. He never had any accidental lessons. He never had a bad experience. He's played appropriately with softer dogs. If he's been when he was about a year old and he's that hotshot little bratty dog, he had a muzzle on, so he learned to play appropriately with lots of dogs. He learned he didn't have to worry about it. He got bumped around a little bit, but we were very careful to not give him experiences that were negative. He had a crate to sleep in with no door on it. He was allowed to come out of the crate, potty. Now he has a bed to sleep on and he's fine. He gets out for specific lessons, but he's not out a lot. So when we decide to work with him, it's a deliberate choice. There's no accidents. He's not, nobody's dragging him around, putting him in the middle of the wrong place. Carolyn groomed him up the other day, and so periodically I'll take him up, or Carolyn will work with him, and he'll be up here or whatever. We give him a lot of different experiences.
Been out to the car. Okay.
He's been in the car, and he's been, but it's short little lessons. This dog has had no real formal training, because when you start with a service dog, you really want them, the easiest way is to have them mature enough to really catch the concepts. That's why McNally has trained, once we had her brain in the right place, she's trained very easily. Because once you have that mindset of compliance, training is nothing. It's 3 successful repetitions. So last night, now it's the first night I've had him up there the whole night. He's been up there in a crate. He's been locked in a crate in here. He's been in a crate. So the crate's nothing. Last night was the first night that he slept in a crate all night long. I never heard a peep out of him. He ate. He went outside to potty. Got up this morning. I mean, he slept. My husband was up an hour before I was. All the noise, all the everything, you never heard a peep out of him. Because he's not used to having somebody come when he calls. He's clean in his bed. He's not guardy about food. He's been handled. This dog is going to train so quickly. Huh, Zachy? Good
Right,
boy.
Good maturity. He's got the-
That maturity is so important. So when you take these young puppies and you start putting way too much pressure on a puppy that's never had pressure, you will get reaction. We spend way too much time catering to puppies. That puppy has not been catered to. He's just about 2. He was like 14 weeks when he came. Just the sweetest boy. He rode all the way up. I think when they stopped was like St. Louis. He was just young and drove all the way up here. Not an accident. I took him out. We met at a truck stop, and they were on their way. So I picked him up there. I took him and let him walk, but he was just like this. So he wouldn't go potty. It was just across town. So I took him as a stranger, got acquainted with him a little bit, threw him in the truck. I didn't have a crate with me. And he peed on the seat of the truck, but he'd gone, like close to 6 hours. So as a baby, it was pretty amazing. But he just came out and he was happy to see me and he trusted people. Just a delightful little dog. And it's really funny because we have kept him under wraps because I didn't want a lot of people, oh, look at the cute little puppy. He wasn't going to start that. That puppy has never bitten a finger. That puppy has never tugged on anything. That puppy has never gone after a foot or a slipper or a pant leg. He doesn't even know what it is. So the shaping of that respectful little personality is so crucial to being not just a service dog, it is in a pet. So many people want to just start that puppy and they set the puppy up to fail. They're giving them way too many things, just like kids. But we're going to start to see Zach a lot more these days. Some of the interesting things that happen around here are when we have dogs, and I talk a lot about service dogs, and everybody here who comes to class, they go, oh, she's talking about service dogs again. It's really funny because the things that we teach, we expect, we demand from a service dog, really, truly, they are not exclusive to service dogs. So when we begin training any dog here, we start that dog as if it's going to be a service dog. That being said, that dog is never trained exclusively to be a service dog, because when that vest comes off, they become a dog. Now, we've watched Julia's journey, McNally's journey. They've kind of gone parallel, but they're just now beginning to work together. Julia has had McNally home for a home visit twice now, and today will be the third time. So at this point, Julia is not using her as a service dog. She is developing a relationship. Now, Julia's job is not just to pick up and go do. Her job is to reaffirm everything we've established in McNally and make sure she's on the same level. That's the point where she will begin to be useful, Julia and McNally. Because at this point, they aren't working as a team yet. They're beginning. But the relationship has to be there before we're going to see any real pretty pictures. So what we're going to do now is spread the chairs back. You can stay there, Tammy. But everybody here is going to get a chance to take their dog through the same exercise.